Hi Sagittarius, welcome to my channel. This is a love romantic reading for you. This is applicable for singles, couples in a relationship or dating. This is a bonus reading. It's a special reading because it's a card reading for Valentine's Day. So let's ask the card, the universe, please, to give us the important message, important information for Sagittarius sign for the month of February for their Valentine's Day, Valentine's celebration. What's the message for Valentine's for Sagittarius, please? Their love romantic relationship reading, dating for Sagittarius, Valentine's, please. Any important notes, please, universe, insights, information, and message for Sag, Valentine's Day, Valentine's week, February month. Valentine's Day, Valentine's Day for Sag. Crowning card. You got a death card, transformation, right? One more, please. Okay, let's start the reading. So your first two cards, Sagittarius, is the Two of Swords in reverse. And then you've got the Judgment. So I'm getting a message here that you are reaching an outcome. An outcome, there's a decision, and that decision leads you to an outcome. And that outcome is probably to reject someone, to refuse someone, or to disagree with someone. All right? Because the Ace of Cups, this is love, this is emotions, mutual emotions and love, feelings being shared to a person, and then that person is reciprocating their feelings, their love, their attention, their care. So this is this is fluid in the sense that, you know, when you throw something out there, they give you back that attention, that feeling. So equality, but it's in reverse. So someone made a decision, an outcome that lead for you guys to, you know, for some of you, break up, a separation, a cool off moment, or this could means that you are disagreeing. And if you are disagreeing emotionally, you are connected, your feelings is not connected. The crowning card is the Death. You might be dealing with a Scorpio Sag, or this could simply means that the energy in here is advising you, Sagittarius, or the person linked to you, that, you know, this breakup, this misunderstanding, this disconnection, let it be, let it flow, let it happen. If it's meant to happen, it needs to happen. Because what I sense on the reading is that this is a course of event. Like this is one event that will lead to another event, and so on and so forth. So I felt like for some of you, this is, for some of you, I'm getting initial stage of whatever, you know, decision someone took, and as a result of that decision, you could have, you know, disconnected, disagreed, probably break up. It could be temporary, or at the moment you're not talking, but this situation, this moment is, it is, you know, it's giving me an intuition, and a message that it's meant to happen right now. This is something that you can't fight. Death is natural, that is inevitable. It's something that you cannot really prevent from happening. So it's saying that this event that occur, you know, one person made the decision, it leads to an outcome, some sort of disagreement or a breakup. Could be temporary, or how, I don't know how long will it be. It will different from each one of you. This is something that you can't, so for some of you, you haven't predicted this. For some of you, this is something that you can't really fight off. This meant to happen to lead to another course of event. Now that course of event, it's like the second stage, you know, it's more, this three cards is more futuristic, in the sense that, you know, things will flow, things will go on. So if you have a momentary, if you have a temporary breakup, if you're not talking, if things are not well, let it happen. When I say let it happen, you like individually understand your feelings to the situation, process. It's more of, when I say let it happen and seeing the death card, it's you need to individually assess your feelings, review your feelings, the decision, the communication, the details that you have exchanged together. Because if you have, for now, be in a moment or in a situation where you decided to be individual, by being separated, or by being, have a sort of a cool off, a chill off moment, and individually understand what you want, or how you understand the feelings of the other person without talking to them. Because sometimes, if we stop talking, we stop arguing, and we stay in a quiet moment and just reassess, be isolated temporary to get ahead, to get a more clearer understanding. So this is what I'm getting in here, is that to transform, understand individual, what's your need, what's your requirement, how it's going to be solved. It's more of, if there was a breakup, you have to isolate yourself in the situation, so that you have a different perspective, possibly after, you have an internal moment to process things, why it happened, why was the decision of the other person is like this, why it was not acceptable, why and what is acceptable for you, some sort of a terms and condition. Because it will go on, this temporary breakup or misunderstanding, that you are being asked to temporarily chillax, cool off, transform yourself out of the situation temporarily. It will roll. It will, the wheel of fortune is here. The wheel of fortune always refers to as luck, because you're not fighting the role of the wheel. The wheel of fortune is moving forward. So this situation, even if it's a breakup or miscommunication, misunderstanding, it will transform eventually into the next course of event. Like the wheel of fortune card says in the reading, it will roll. Okay, even if you don't push the, even if you don't have to push things. If that person is not replying, you don't have to push that person to reply now, to have an answer now, or to resolve it now, or to connect now. Because this situation will roll out, it will transform as per the wheel of fortune here, into a second event. All right, and that second event, you might still, one of you guys might still be a little bit selfish. There's still an ego driven kind of conversation or thinking. Because if you process this individually, you might think of your needs, what you want. It's more of, if it's individual, the initial information that I'm getting in here, if you break up, you think of your individual needs, you think what's best for you, but the other person might think that what you're processing individually, it's not what they want. But eventually, after being individual, after being separated, what I'm trying to say is that if you being separated, you're not talking, so it means the way you think, it's more in favor of yourself. And this is what the King of Cups here, it's a bit selfish. It's only thinking about yourself. It's because you haven't spoken, so all what you're processing as individual person is what you want, right? But eventually, I see the wheel of fortune here as a positive card, in the sense that, one person, when you break up, you tend to be, you tend to just look what's working for you. And then eventually, when you miss each other, when the love comes back, and you have, you because initially the first stage of breakup or not talking, there could be anger, hatred, there's ego in there, so your needs is more individual, you only think of yourself. But eventually, after, when you cool off 2 to 3, 4, 5 days, things will make sense, and the love, you will miss each other, and the love and the feelings that you felt to each other will come back, and that individual assessment of what's working for me, it will transform into something considerate, so the second turn of event is that individually, as you process this separation temporary, you will think of ego, but eventually I'm getting the two of you to move out from that selfishness or ego driven kind of moment, and the love will come back. And because when I clarify it, it's the commitment. So over this reading, I'm getting like the love will come back, and there would be commitment. Commitment will be restored. The love will come back. The reading that I'm getting here, Sagittarius, is really like a sort of a process and a transformation, that you break up, you had a misunderstanding, you had a disagreement. So if there was disagreement, if there was a breakup, you don't expect to share the love, the feelings to each other, because you don't understand, because it's hatred and ego and angry and selfishness that's driving the relationship or the connection. This is the first stage. Once you cool off, let it transform like the death, the initial process, that if you're not talking, you have individual opinion. That's where you think of ego again, individually, what only works for you. But I think in 2 to 3, 4, 5 days, it depends upon you. You will eventually miss each other, and you will remember the love, the feelings back again. And that's where, the commitment card is here to explain that it will roll, things will move. If initially there's still ego, hatred, or angriness, misunderstanding, but as soon as you remember that you love each other, you miss each other, love will prevail, and commitment will be restored. So that's your reading, Sagittarius. It's good, it's a good reading. It just shows a process. This is a typical process of two lovers or a two-person dating, where they had a misunderstanding. They have individually assessed what they feel to each other. They initially, let ego come in, because there was a disagreement, and then as soon as they realize that they miss each other, they love each other, love will come back, and commitment will be restored. Okay, this is a process. The card reading for today, it's all about the process that it's highlighting how you will go through this process, and transform bad situation into something, we're back together again. Okay, so I will put the title as Love Will Be Restored. Commitment and love will be restored. Okay, so that's for you, Sag. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you soon again with your bonus reading. Weekly, midweek, and weekend reading. All right, bye-bye.